Hello.
Wow, hello.
Hello. Welcome. This is the NgoVo ConVo podcast, and I'm Harrison, and I'm joined by a new room.
Yes.
Veronica.
No, it is a new room.
It is a new room, though.
New room, same
Wow,
photos,
look at
new
that.
room.
Your own space.
Yes.
So safe.
Yes.
Weeb. Actually, is it
Everything's
in
there.
view? Oh, it is in view. Okay. That's cool.
Now my head will cover it.
Ah. Perfectly placed then, I guess.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
we just both want an excuse to talk about anything that entertains us. We're not cleaning up any backlog this time.
No.
If you look at the title, no, we're not. Because, Veronica, some would say that we are conversing.
Wow, like NgoVo ConVo and NgoVo ConVo, logos of Harrison's head. He's always pointing. It's great.
Imagine if I missed it. Oh, no, I didn't. We're good.
Imagine you're just like, huh.
But, Veronica, you can watch every episode on youtube.com. I still can't talk. Oh, my God. Just got off. It's fine. But
It's fine.
You can watch every episode on youtube.com. I can read, I swear, or listen to it as a podcast by searching up NgoVo ConVo on your podcast service of choice.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's okay.
Has it? Actually, no, it hasn't for me.
No, it hasn't.
But it's fine. Because, Veronica, this video is also sponsored by Olipop. But we'll get to that later. So this is just going to be another topical episode because it's adding some flexibility and I don't have to keep up with too much like shows, and Veronica doesn't have
Because
to,
he doesn't want to keep up with shows.
No, I just want to talk to my friend about other stuff, you know.
Whenever he does a high pitched voice, he's lying.
Howdy me. How dare you? That's fine. But regardless, probably don't need to worry about any spoilers per usual, or maybe we'll see. Depends on how
No, it depends.
we go with this. Yeah.
But
it's my turn this week to give a topic to then ask Veronica and make her think more.
You always try to stump me.
I do.
But either way, we're stumped together.
Yeah, no matter what. No matter what.
No matter what.
We're in this. Damn. But, so, Veronica, just to kick this off, I've just noticed that like a lot of things recently, it's just not really recently, it's just been a thing. And I guess I just don't know if we'll ever get out of this, or if it's just we're stuck in this limbo. And my thing I've noticed is, and this is like applying to most media, but I will just, for now, we'll just stick to like entertainment, but I have other examples if needed. I feel like we've been stuck in these, we're sticking to like a brand or like a company in a sense of like, let's say like IPs, right?
Yeah.
But like groups that control IPs, or like even, I actually would count remakes at this point too. Like we're also sticking to like a remake
reboots.
of a reboot of something.
Yeah.
And it's always like this. It's like, oh, we're remaking Willy Wonka again, for instance, or we're remaking blah blah blah. It's like, and I'm throwing out random stuff because it just feels that way.
Wicked is a good example, but that's kind of like a
that is more of a
reinvention of like Wizard of Oz. Not even, because Wicked is like its own book.
It's damn it. I know what word you want to say, and I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
But it is essentially just a new format. Like it's going from theater to like, from book to theater to like movie
to like
now.
movie.
So,
yeah.
I forgot. Comment down below. What's that word that we're trying to say? Please let me know. But yeah, do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do.
Like, do you feel like it's? I know it's been a thing. I know we've done remakes, and I know like, or we've stuck
talked
to like
about it too a lot.
We
off
have,
camera and like also like here, like sprinkled here and there. Yeah, I think the last topic we had was like about subscriptions and how that stops people from watching stuff, which is also kind of a good thing. Well, not a good thing.
Oh, I have a good point on that
but,
too.
But
yeah,
it kind of leans into like IPs. But I'll go. See, I'm wearing Marvel on purpose. Wow, because I think Marvel is like a really good example of like, I wouldn't say clinging onto IPs, but more like controlling certain aspects of IPs, they just have so much material, right? Comic wise. So when Kevin started MCU, you know, he could just grab an X amount of characters and just pick, what Harrison's doing. If you're watching on YouTube, just picking at them. And then, like, for example, Netflix took Daredevil and all of the Daredevil stuff and characters that came along with it. And then Sony took Spider-Man, and they still have Spider-Man. But now they're in, like, association or partnership with MCU.
Yeah.
So I think it gets really complicated, but also we're in this zone or like in this phase where like streaming services is kind of like a thing. Like cable's kind of like phasing out. It's been phasing out, let's be honest. Like during COVID, like lockdown. So streaming service has been like the thing. There's too many now, which we've complained about in another episode.
We have.
But I think a lot of like services and then like these companies that, you know, MCU for characters, they do want the control, right? MCU is like the best example at like having too many characters, too many people taking certain characters, and then when Kevin wants to take back that control, he can't. Spider-Man, he still can't because that's with Sony. Daredevil, he did take, actually. And that's coming, I wouldn't say reboot, but kind of like a continuation of like the Netflix Daredevil is coming back next March. So I think that's a really good example. But also, I think it really confuses people, right? MCU, we've been complaining about it for the last 2 years. We've been in this, at least Harrison and I have been in this like rut of like, I don't want to watch any more shows, or like, you know, we haven't seen outside of what, Deadpool? Before Deadpool, we didn't see much. I think the last one was like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and that was
in terms of Marvel? Yeah.
So it's been a while, right? So it's just like, to me, it's just like a lot coming in, but also not because of streaming services. But I also think like digital work is like just a whole nother, I think, topic, really. Yeah,
and just to reel it back in, I guess just to clarify, like I know you're talking, and you are talking more in terms of the I feel like the contracts that do, like the licensure and the contracts of like IPs.
Yes.
Right? I was actually meaning more like, do you feel like I know like I know like there's like some fanboys that like think to like MCU and all that, right? Like, oh, like worse. But I guess do you feel like because okay, so let me give another example. And Disney streaming services with Disney, I think that's a very good jumping point in the sense of Disney has been keeping a lot of their stuff under like the streaming service now, Disney Plus now, right? That brand. And because like, and I say like, it feels like we're sticking to stuff. Like, let's say Stitch, Lilo and Stitch is the new live action that's coming out.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen this comment a lot of, oh cool, we get to see this in live action. Not as much as, do we really need this? Can they do this that well? But do you feel, it feels like, and I know Disney has tried to, we've talked about this on a news dumpy like a while back, in a sense of,
like
back when I was on it.
Yeah. Now it's just me. Tears.
But it's like,
yeah, you're talking about like live action.
Not just live action. Like I feel like they're remaking stuff like, let's say like TV shows on Disney Plus. Like, but it's based on like Tangled or like Frozen. Like they'll keep making kind of spin-offs.
Like iCarly, they rebooted iCarly. Yeah,
that too. But like it's like I feel like we're sticking to stuff in a sense of, and I will say
it's because people do not have any more creativity.
Well, I don't know about that, because Disney has tried to make new stuff, and remember that was they made was it last year?
Elemental, right? Elemental?
No, but it was that year. It was that year that you're referring to, where they tried to make new stuff, and it was their lowest like performing year. Ironic.
You know,
I don't know if it's creative. I don't know if it's not having any creativity. I just think that's where I'm like kind of curious on if you agree or feel like it's like kind of the issue where people will say, oh, there's not enough creativity, but then we still go back and watch like the old stuff because of nostalgia. We're being nostalgic.
Here's the thing about Disney that is like makes them Disney. It's the old stuff. The stuff that we grew up on is what makes Disney Disney. Yeah. So I think when they tried to make new stuff, it really backfired because one, we were kind of like, I don't know, we couldn't go out when they tried to do that.
No, we were out at this point.
Were we
when
out?
It was bad. Yeah.
Oh, dude, okay. It was last year.
This was like last
2 years ago. Yeah. And like, I just think there's just this like momentum where people want creativity, right? Yeah. As a consumer, but also they want something that they know to go back on. But for me, I think I just get tired of like seeing live action, like The Lion King, Mufasa, live action again, Lilo and Stitch, live action.
Yeah. Easy cash grabs.
Cinderella. It's like an easy cash grab, right? They try to get the parents to get their kids to go out, watch it like real life people. I think that's another catch. But it gives Disney a lot of money because Disney World, Disneyland, they make the same, characters and stuff for the ears and stuff. So it's just easier.
Yeah.
I think as a consumer, I think for the both of us, we might just like a creativity.
Yeah.
Versus like, seeing live action again.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's true. And I think this is the other thing. I will also point out, like, I say Disney, but like, let's look at like DreamWorks, right? DreamWorks actually does, their stuff has been really good recently.
Oh yeah, their stuff has been all their stuff recently.
So I feel like they feel like the new Pixar, in my opinion. Like they just feel.
Yeah, Pixar has not been like that good lately.
Yeah.
I just feel like Pixar's been like, eh.
No, and I think so. This is where I think what you mean by creativity in that it's not like it's nothing new. It just feels like, let's say, like plot points or writing points. It's just like.
I just think like some things just need to be let go. Toy Story, for example, 1, 2, 3. That's it.
But we're on what, 5?
5 now. 4 didn't really need to be there. 5 definitely doesn't need to be there either. Yeah. No, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. So, and that's what I mean by like clinging is like, and I say more, I guess it's more like remakes, but it does feel like, or like, what's that other Halloween, not Halloween, but like that, scary movie, not scary, I guess. It was
Halloween?
No, it's the one where you had to say his name 3 times. It had what's her name? Or Michael Keaton was the main dude.
Oh, Beetlejuice 2.
It's like that. It's like they had to, and not like it's. I felt like I saw a lot of comments, and it's just comments. General public may like love it because it's like, oh look, it's Beetlejuice.
I heard there was good ratings on that.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying, like, I saw a lot of comments that I was like, oh, do we want this? It's a sequel, but then ended up being like, oh, people liked it. So it's just. I don't know.
And like Gladiator 2, it's been 24 years since the first Gladiator.
And now we're having another one.
I just, it's a hard spot, right?
Yeah.
Especially in like Hollywood times where it's just like a lot of actors and actresses, it's not cancel culture, but also it's kind of like, stuff starts coming up in their personal life and you just kind of start seeing them in a different light.
That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. But in case, I'm gonna just say we take a quick break to talk about our sponsor in case that becomes a big topic.
This episode is sponsored by Olipop, the soda your gut will thank you for. Yes, I'm talking to you, all of you. All right, have you ever missed that classic soda pop feeling? The fizz, the flavor, but without the sugar crash and the guilt trip. Yeah, me too, you too, Harrison too. All of us. That's why I'm introducing to you Olipop, the soda that's bursting with flavor and good for you too. I actually have my favorite one here, strawberry vanilla. But the other weird one that I enjoyed was banana cream. I know, it's weird, super weird, but this is my favorite. Number 1, because it only has 3 grams of sugar per can, Plus, it has 9 grams of prebiotic fiber. And you know what you need with fiber? To use the restroom. Hee hee hee. But yeah, that means that you're going to have a happy and healthy gut with every sip. And it looks like that they took everything we loved about classic soda and upgraded to a modern, healthy conscience person. Like you, like me, like Harrison. My co-partner. My co-host that's not here right now. So ditch the compromise and experience the soda revolution for yourself. Don't forget to use our promo code NgoVo15 NgoVo15 to get 15% off your first order on drinkolipop.com.
All right, we're back. So
wow, Harrison had to stop me.
I did because I felt like that could, but I think you're in terms of like cancel culture and all that, right? Like it's where were you gonna go with that portion?
I was just going to say, like, I think that's also another reason why Hollywood doesn't really want to get out of that bubble of like,
because it sells.
As it sells, like, because remake. I think the only director really that like kind of does his own thing is like Christopher Nolan. Really, he's the one that's like kind of like out of the box. Like he does things on his own, on like his own terms.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's been a lot of like actors and actresses that just they kind of want to do the same thing. Like for example, another great one is Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise has been doing this, I think, since I could remember. Mission Impossible has been out for a very long time. And I feel like the final movie comes out next year.
1996. It's been almost like...
Wow.
Almost 30 years.
1996?
1996 was the first Mission Impossible.
The first... Oh my god. It's like that. It's like... It's a cash grab for Tom Cruise, really.
That's the crazy part is like, I know my parents remember M1, but then I remember M2 as like first like exposure to it.
I remember 3 as the first exposure.
Okay. I think... And I say exposure as like, I saw the DVD cover. Or whatever cover of it, right?
No, I saw a clip or something. Yeah. My dad had it up. Yeah. No, it's just like, stuff like that. Like, I think, Tom Cruise knows it's going to be a cash grab. It's just things like that. But how do you feel? Do you like it? Do you like seeing things kind of like pop up?
It is weird in that I'm going to just claim I'm hypocritical at this point where I'm like, okay, yes, I'm happy to see certain things, right? Mm-hmm. But then let's say in terms of, I'm trying to think of one that I'm like, oh, I'll always just watch it because it's just, I know what to expect.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be a Mission Impossible. Or like, even like, I haven't seen Transformers in a while, but I felt like that was like a one that was like, it needs to end.
Transformers, they just like, they multiplied. To me, it just
I felt like it just needed to end, but also like, I didn't care enough that I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not?
It really ended with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, really. That was the trilogy right there. Yeah.
But I'm trying to think.
Do you feel like when people remake stuff, do you think the plot needs to be more interesting? Like, in a sense, like, I know the original. But the remake, reboot, I want it to be like a little, a little different.
This is where it's hard, right? Is it expanding for the sake of like, oh, we're getting more out of it, like more like, or is it
like more answers, right? You're expanding to get more answers, right? Yeah.
Or is it just a rehash, like verbatim, with a little some tweaks to like just change it up a little bit?
Yeah.
But it's just verbatim. That's when it feels weird. Okay, Beauty and the Beast, I think, was a very nice twist when it does the live action.
Yeah.
And this, I'm gonna point to Disney because half the time it's like, oh, it's cool. That's more. Actually, it's either, and it's typical like, oh yeah, cool. They added some more. Wow, that expanded the universe. That's really cool. Oh, it's exactly like point for point. Or, dude, why did we need to remake this?
No, yeah, exactly. Those three
like it like diverges so much, and I'm like, I don't know how much that matters. I guess it's on IP because like I pointed Beauty and the Beast just because I was like, oh, it was like the first time I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's more of than we got. Or like Maleficent. Maleficent was building more on Sleeping Beauty, but gave a different perspective. I think it's okay to like do that kind of stuff. I can't really say too much on like, oh, let's say like Little Mermaid because I haven't watched it, right? Have you watched that?
Either. No.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm kind of scared too.
But see, it's like, are we scared because like we've had like, for instance, I watched Aladdin, like the live action. Same. I'm like, it felt weird. I just didn't feel like it was needed. But again, someone else may feel like there's benefits to certain things, right? Let's say it is weird because if we're talking live action, let's say Mulan. Oh, all of a sudden we get more. As someone from the Asian community, obviously, it's like, oh, cool, we get to see more representation there, or you get it gives us the chance to do this kind of stuff. Yeah. But then it's like I don't want it to dilute the whole reason why we like the original story, right?
Exactly. It's just like our childhood would be ruined.
Then here's the flip side: something is not like did not age well.
You know, I think about Cinderella.
Something that did not age well. Like if you were, I think that's when a remake is also not bad, or like we're sticking to an IP to like let it retell a story. Mm-hmm. But gives a good message to like people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. See, there's a lot of reasons why I can see why it's okay. It just feels like there's just at my gut reaction, I'm like, are we really doing this? Like Lilo and Stitch. I'm excited because it looks adorable. Like Stitch looks actually good. But before I saw Stitch, I was like, do we really need this?
All I think about when I see Stitch is like it's a tennis ball, like a legit just a tennis ball. That's all I think about. I'm like, oh, okay.
But then there's like the little things of like, oh, cool, they kept the same voice actor.
Yeah.
So there's little things like that where I'm like, okay, they take that into account. That's cool. But I'm sticking to movies because like if I bring in games. If they remake a game, then there's new mechanics, there's new gameplay, there's all this stuff that can be like expanded.
Game seems like more complicated, right?
It's a bit more complicated. Like there's another remake that just came out, or remaster. See,
does that happen a lot?
So much, dude.
A lot? Insane. Okay. I just never pay attention to like remakes, remasters.
Yeah. Because like then there's like the argument of like, okay, is it a full remake, like top up or bottom up, like everything's different,
like everything's different,
just a remaster of an old game that has updated graphics.
Okay.
So there's all stuff like that. Where
how do you feel about like a game to like a movie, like Resident Evil, Assassin's Creed?
Ooh, I don't like them.
No, you don't like them?
Well, Assassin's Creed, right? I fell asleep on I loved Assassin's Creed back then. I don't like the new stuff.
Yeah.
But I watched that movie excited. I fell asleep like the last third. I woke up and I was like,
it's done.
I was like, oh, it's done. I don't feel like I missed out. Damn.
As a kid, I remember Resident Evil being really scary, but like the first 2 or 3 movies were really good.
Yeah.
Well, but that was me, like a memory as a kid.
Yeah.
Now, if I rewatch it,
Last of Us is good. Last of Us is a good
yes.
Adaptation. A new adaptation.
Yes.
That's the word. Thank you, comment section. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brain, for remembering.
That's
The Last of Us is a good one. Yes.
And honestly, like let's say like the Pikachu, like Detective Pikachu, or like it's like we have stuff that's good adaptations.
Yeah.
I'm literally blanking, and I know there is one, but it's fine.
How about, you know how we talked about earlier, like creativity? What popped in my brain was Star Wars, like Andor.
Okay.
Boba Fett.
Yes.
Mandalorian.
Like Boba Fett. Oh, cool. We get more Boba Fett. And then after the season, oh no, we got more Boba Fett.
Yeah. So that kind of like ruined his character, the book of Boba Fett.
The perception of the character now is ruined in my eyes.
Yes.
Unfortunately. So
I mean, and then there's Andor, something completely new, which we both thought season 1 was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ahsoka is an expansion of the character. Yeah. Mandalorian.
I know some people didn't like I forgot what's her name in Ahsoka, but see, that's the hard part is like I think it's when you deal with something that's like close to someone's like, they care about it, they it's really
like part of their fan base, like they're part of,
or even like their upbringing, right? Like I watched a lot of like these movies or the shows, like I watched Clone Wars as a kid. There's like some attachment, right? So I think it's just at the end of the day, it's just you're messing with someone's like a fan's attachment to something that they hold very dear.
Yeah.
So if you mess it up, you mess it up.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. Which is why we get upset when we see Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, like, it's tragic.
Initially, I felt that way with Marvel, but I actually felt Marvel did really well with what they kept in scope.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. But
now they're kind of like all over the place. A little bit. Well, not a little bit. They are.
It's comics.
Yeah.
Which I will then just be like, that's like the comic universe. There's so much, and it resets. And here we are.
Every time. Yep. Here we go.
Yeah. It's like, how many iterations of Batman do I have to follow?
All of them.
Like, I literally, one of our friends sent us this, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's the failsafe one.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I was like, oh, I've seen like, not clips, because it's on like TikTok and the Reels, but like they do screenshot stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, this is a cool story. I'm like, oh, it's from Failsafe. Oh, I should probably read this.
Oh, it's on my desk to read.
It's on my desk.
Dusty.
See, the friend that gave it to me never watches this, so I'm safe.
Oh, yes, you are safe.
I'm safe.
Yes, you are. We can keep talking shit.
Yeah. But yeah, but at the end of the day, do you feel like we are just playing it safe and just sticking to stuff that we know?
I think we are. Yeah. It's just like it's getting too routine.
Yeah. But I can't tell you what to do different, because when someone does do it different, it doesn't do that well.
It doesn't do well. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I always ask myself, I'm like, if I was in that position, what would I do? And and every time my answer is like, I don't know.
Because I just don't think anyone should expect every movie to be a banger, though, right? It's like, I think those surprising moments of like, oh, that movie was really good. I think that's just at minimum, I think that's good enough.
Yeah. And I think
it's subjective. Subjective.
The last kind of like phenomenon was like Barbenheimer.
I literally was about to say Barbenheimer.
Like Barbenheimer was just kind of this its own entity, monster, and it got everyone in the movie theater really back to back multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now I watch Oppenheimer on my phone as intended.
Wow. Nolan would have your neck for that.
As intended. Look at this vertical.
Oh,
God. Anyway.
No, this has been good.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking.
Yeah. And now you're just going to be like, oh, it's just another rehash. And then you'll like the rehash, and then you get conflicted feelings.
And then we'll go and just make a future topical episode about it.
Okay. But that's all I got before we start just going in a circle.
I know. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on all our socials at NgoVo ConVo and NgoVo ConVo. If you're on YouTube, comment down below. Let us know how we're doing today, what you like, what you didn't like. If you had any thoughts on like, if you do feel like we're just in this perpetual like state of rehashing or just remaking a lot of stuff, just give me this affirmation. But yeah, hit all the buttons from right to left. Like this video, subscribe. Right to left though. All the buttons right to left. Yeah.
I don't know which way is my right to left.
It's flipped. It's fine. But bye-bye.
Goodbye.